Okay, this video is to show us how we attach the actual LeverMax tool to any long-handled tool. Shovels, paint rollers, rakes, brooms, mops, even a weed whacker. Anything that has a long-handled tool, LeverMax will help you take advantage, full advantage, of your leverage. So there are a couple things we want to determine first before we attach the LeverMax. First of all, are you left or right-handed? So, for instance, a right-handed person, normally, now that you may be the exception to the rule, but a right-handed person would take a tool, use their stronger hand, which a right-handed person would be, would take their stronger hand in the back of the tool and their weaker hand to be the fulcrum that's closer to where the work is. That's just seems to be the natural way people do it. So a right-handed person would grab it this way, and a left-handed person would grab it that way. Now the reason that's important is that although the LeverMax will work no matter how you attach it, there does seem to be a comfort level that is increased if you use the LeverMax on your weaker hand. So for instance, if I am right-handed, like I am, I would want to attach the LeverMax so that the rounded part of the LeverMax attachment is facing to the left. If I am left-handed, my weaker hand seems to be more comfortable if I attach it with the rounded part facing to the right. Don't get confused by this because, again, it'll work either way. But it just seems to be, again, a comfort issue. Okay, so what I'll want to do is whatever tool that I want to put this on, I'll want to put it face down on a flat, level surface. So what I mean by face down? Well, here's a square pointed shovel, and this is the front of the shovel because that's what I'm looking at as I'm using it. That's what I would call the front. So front or top down. Okay, if I'm going to use a rake, for instance, okay, I would call this the top of the tool. The tines of the rake are facing down that way. I would be using it like this. So again, I would want to put the rake top down on the table. Because when we attach the LeverMax, the threaded portion of the swing bolt assembly should be facing towards the back of the tool, which of course allows the rounded part of the swing bolt to face the top, and that's where we get all of our freedom of movement. See, I can move that back and forth, swing around. So again, don't get confused by it. Just put the top of the tool facing down, and we will install the LeverMax basically upside down. And you'll see how that works here. Okay, so not to belabor the point at all, but again, just to show you. A broom, like a push broom, we would be using it this way, the rounded part on top, so I would want to lay that on the table like that. Okay, enough said about that. So, how do we get the LeverMax to fit correctly versus for left-handed versus right-handed? Again, with it upside down, if I'm right-handed, make it so that the pole, the rounded portion of the tool shaft, the pole shaft, faces to the right. Okay, so as I'm looking at it, that's the right side. And that's how I'm going to install it. If I was left-handed, the rounded part goes to the left side of the tool as I'm looking at it from the top. Don't get confused. It's really not absolutely crucial, but again, a comfort issue. So, since I'm right-handed, I'm going to install this with the rounded portion facing to the right. First thing I need to do is put on our attachment straps. So I put the first strap on the pole like that and just push it all the way to the top. Then I just lift up my tool a little bit, kind of even this out, take my second strap and just slide that onto the threads and try to get it as even as possible. And then put on the first nut. The second nut. Again, you just kind of eyeball the to center both on the straps and on the tool as best you can. You can adjust it as you go. Then I've just got a 7/16 deep socket hand wrench, I guess, is what you would call that. That's all I'm using. You could use a monkey wrench, combination wrench, open-ended wrench, whatever you want, but it's a 7/16 size. Then you just kind of cinch it down a little bit. Now you may want to keep it loose a little bit because you may want to adjust it. Two things. First of all, most tools are going to have some kind of, like the shovel here, where the metal wraps around right dead center. You can use those self-centering pre-drilled set screw holes to kind of line that up. You just look at it, make sure that it's centered, and it doesn't have to be perfectly centered, because remember, this thing is completely adjustable. So if you're off a little bit, not going to kill you. But when you attach it, you can go all the way down. We've gone all the way down to the metal portion. It's a fiberglass handle, so where the fiberglass handle meets the actual steel shovel, we've attached the LeverMax all the way up to that neck. Now, you seem to get most leverage, and most people seem to be the most comfortable when the top tool is roughly a foot from the end of the long handle tool that they're attaching it to. Different people for different sizes, so you can play with it however you want. If it doesn't feel comfortable, try playing around a little bit with where you attach the pole, sliding it up and down. But this is where I find it most comfortable, and that's roughly about a foot, so I know I'm going to be good. Okay, so let's put that back down. We've adjusted it. Now, when you tighten these nuts, you don't have to really wrench it down hard. The adjustment straps are galvanized steel, but as you tighten it down the various thicknesses of the shaft, it kind of conforms to that shaft and grips it on all four sides. So you don't have to wrench it till you hear something crack, which it'll tighten down that tight. Just hand tight is good enough. Once you've got the first two nuts, then you put on the second two nuts. And tighten those up. Now, if you're using a deep socket like I've got here, you don't want to go all the way down through both nuts. Just grab the top nut so that you can cinch that down. And the tension between the two nuts will keep it from those nuts coming loose. And that's it. That's all you have. Now, you'll have a self-tapping screw, which means that no matter what your actual tool handle is made of, whether it's wood like this rake, metal like this other rake, fiberglass like this shovel, it'll still pre-drill itself all the way through. You don't need to get a drill bit and a screw. You just get a nut driver for your drill, put it right through that center hole, and drill it through. Now, if you want to remove the LeverMax and put it to another tool at any time, just back out those steps and you've got it. And there we have installation of the LeverMax long handle tool attachment. Enjoy. Thank you.